can't actually force creativity. It does not work. What you can do, I've learned, is set up the environment that makes creativity happen. That's what Michigan does.
We're now telling students, it's not that you go to college and then your life starts. Why can't I go out now and start to create nonprofits and institutions and organizations that are going to make a difference in the world now, not at some future date, right? So why not me? Why not now?
Now, when we think about individual students and alums of this place, such as a Larry Page or a Bill Joy or a Tony Fidel, those were really, really creative students when they were here on campus. And so I think the main credit we take there is recruiting those types of individuals into our student body, which just provides an enriching experience for everyone.
I came to university not at all knowing what entrepreneurship was. It was not a term I'd ever really heard before. I'm a mechanical engineer, so I was like, I'm gonna go be a mechanical engineer, work in a corporation. And then I ended up starting a company and I learned what entrepreneurship was and what it meant. And the best description of it was actually by a founder here in Ann Arbor, Doug Song, and he described it like a drug. It's an addiction. It's your highest highs, it's your lowest lows. It's the hardest thing you're ever gonna do. And that's true, but it also is something that teaches you how to change the world.
Technology and new innovations and advancements have, I think, been part of the fabric of Michigan for decades.
If you go back to the 1960s, 70s, and into the early 80s, within engineering and computer science, Michigan had some very notable achievements.
The first person ever to get a PhD in something we would now call computer science was John Holland in 1959. So that CS department produced, by 1970 they had produced over 90 PhDs. So they really turned out new thinkers, but coming from this very broad background. The big role for computer science here was this thing called the Merit Network, the Michigan Educational Research and Information Triad.
Merit was created to link the computers of the major research universities together. And so Merit was a pioneer in networking computers. So we had conversational computing, computing for all of the students and faculty that was conversational, and then the network that linked all that together.
And then when Jim Duderstadt became Dean of Engineering, he put a major focus on research, and a transformation was begun.
The early version of the internet, the ARPANET, which was a United States defense system, was created at the University of Michigan. And the internet has changed everything.
One of the things that enabled the internet's success was Unix, which was Bill Joy's thing. And then at Sun Microsystems, of course, he made a company out of it.
The notion always then is that we want to create people who are doing innovative and new kinds of things. It's about the kind of innovativeness of what people are trying to create. And in fact, it's probably one of the things that allows individuals from very different types of intellectual backgrounds, the biological sciences and the social sciences, to get together because they're both trying to innovate.
I think the entrepreneurial and innovative spirit is very outwardly focused. The idea of entrepreneurship is to take what you've learned and solve problems that make a difference. But essentially it's marshaling your capacities, educational capacities, leadership capacities, the ability to communicate, to inspire, to achieve a goal that makes a difference in the world. That's entrepreneurship.
We never want to lose sight of the fact that we are a discovery and creation and innovation rich institution. And so our students can actually become part of that in real interesting ways.
The way people used to think about entrepreneurship was starting a company or starting a business. What we, and I think many of us at the university now, try to teach is the mindset. When you see a problem, don't just say, oh, somebody will figure that out. It's the mindset of something can be done better. I can do something about it, and I'm going to take action that will enable me to affect change in whatever that happens to be.
But the reality is that the vast majority of our students will develop in many ways what are called portfolio lives, portfolio careers, where there will be several different things that they do over the time of their career and concurrently at any one period in time. And so as we develop these skill sets, we want them not only to learn through curriculum, but to also have role models and mentors through key leaders in the field that we bring back to interact with them. And then ultimately, finally, we want to empower them to develop their own organizations, their own initiatives.
One of the things that has happened in universities, not just the University of Michigan, over the past decade really, is the emergence of entrepreneurship centers within different faculties. We've had Zell Lurie at the business school since 1999. The engineering schools had their Center for Entrepreneurship, and you find the same thing in medicine, public health, music, theater, and dance. Innovate Blue was really designed to give students a place where they could find their way to these various centers of excellence across the university campus.
In my role as Director of Innovate Blue, this campus-wide initiative, I have found it very easy to just reach out across campus and at least start conversations with people. There's more than 15 different centers and programs and institutes related to entrepreneurship, so what we try to do is create opportunities for all of these individuals to get together, learn from each other, and build community.
You meet those people who are going to be your co-founders. You meet those people who you're going to spend the next 3-4 years talking to, working with, building a business with.
Good ideas will attract resources. And the fact that we can provide a lot of resources within the university infrastructure certainly makes it easier, gives students a bit of a tailwind, if you will, as they leave, as they seek to develop their businesses outside the campus.
I think that's also been a big part of our success over time, is that we've been willing to make the investments that you need in the sciences, in the arts, and the music, in the humanities. These are important things that we're doing, and if the ideas are good enough, then we're willing to find the money to do them.
You also have, as a result of your time here, a group of relationships that you can depend on to help you as you move forward in your life. That's special. And I think that's a lot of what this university offers.
Well, when I talk to a group of prospective Michigan undergrads, I always tell them, if you come to Michigan, you're joining a family. Make sure you like this family because there's no escaping. Everybody's connected to everyone.
I've spoken to CEOs, I've spoken to millionaires. I've spoken to some people who are probably on the verge between million and billionaires who are U of M grads, who only spoke to me because I emailed them from @umich.edu. And that's really special. That's part of the community. And hopefully, if I am successful in 30, 40 years, I can do the same thing.
Made possible by the Stanley and Judith Frankel Family Foundation.